Yes, I'm on my meeting. Hello, good morning, all. Hello, good morning, all. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, all. So we can unmute so that we can test our environments. We can test your sound.
Daddy.
Yeah. Hello, good morning, all.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's Honorable, good morning, sir.
Yeah, Honorable is he will be soon. He will be available soon.
Yeah.
In the next 2 to 3 minutes.
No problem, no problem.
Okay. Kada aka jira.
Sun magana ta. Bari yanzu. Same meeting, same align. Mr. Amos.
Hi, good morning, Honorable.
Good morning.
How are you doing today? Well done.
Fine. We are great. How is your side?
I'm great. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, sir.
We thank God.
Thank you.
What of Asma? What of me, Lafia? I did not see her here.
Yeah, I think in 2 minutes they should just join us, so that we can just get started. Thank you. Good morning, and you're welcome, everybody. So I think since they will join us, so that we don't waste any time, it's not supposed to be a very long meeting. So it's not supposed to be a very long meeting, any long meeting. So good morning, Honorable. So thank you so very much for this. In fact, I'll call it the grandest opportunity in Nigeria. Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Because this is it's not it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more to get the kind of conscience. And to be frank with you, the last time and since ever I've met you, we've not really physically met, but then we've been engaged for some time. The last time I got such a conscience in government was with the late Professor Dora Aquili, the former Minister of Information. And that is when you have people that have the right conscience in government, they can go any length to do anything with an initiative of this until within a very short time we saw her deteriorating condition, and that led to her demise. They have so rest in peace. I really can remember that because when I measure and get people in government to relate to it, I'm always very happy to do. So okay, I think about now. Let's see how we can. Let's see how we can mute. You can mute our environment unless we talk, so that it will give me an opportunity to share the general overview of what this project is all about, sir. So you permit me to share my screen.
Abdullah Abakar.
Yes, sir.
Meet your side. You did not meet your side.
Okay. Okay, I can see Mr. Peter Oluka in the house. Thank you so very much, Mr. Oluka. You're welcome, sir. Mr. Oluka is actually the editor, Tech Economy, and he's an industry media reporter on ICT in Nigeria. So you're welcome, Mr. Oluka. So I will just seize the opportunity to get started. If you're able to get my screen, let me know. Are you able to get my screen? Are you able to see my screen? Can you unmute? Can you get my? Okay, great.
Yeah, can see our screen.
Oh, excellent.
We can see.
Excellent. So this is actually
Yes,
the stage. Sorry. The stage of Innovationbed Africa in Nigeria is a stage whereby we have done several pilots, several research in the last 10 years. Let me just put it at 10 years because there were, prior to 10 years, a whole lot of our concentration were based on Nigerian graduates who have gone to school, and we were trying to see how what really happened for somebody who went to school, spent like 4 or 5 years in the university on a course of study, and by the time he's stepping out, he's looking for a job. And we try to actually see how we can situate solutions to what actually happened. And I can remember at that time, we started with a 2-month program where we took undergraduates. We don't care what you read in school, so long as you hold a degree. So, and we can remember, and that set, we had people who read English, people read Yoruba, people read languages, and philosophy, engineering, computer science itself. And we had a class where we put all of them together, and this was as far back as 2007, 2008, prior to 2010, that we're even marking the 10th anniversary now. And we realized that a typical youth who is just leaving the university knows so well, he may even be holding a first class, but the chances that this first class holder or second class holder or third class holder will match with the requirement of the labor market became very difficult because, one, apart from the fact that the society itself is usually by a man, no man kind of syndrome, and that people who really know are the ones that may not be getting the job. So the chance for a person with a first class sometimes to get the right job can also be very difficult because somebody lower may get that job. So what we did at that time from Programmers Foundation was to put up a project we initially that time called the SIDO Liberty. SIDO that time means software, implementation, development, and outsourcing. Because at that time, outsourcing was mouthful. Everybody was talking about outsourcing, outsourcing, outsourcing. And up till today, we have not exhausted the opportunities of outsourcing because it's still there. So, and we looked at the entire realm of ICT is damn too broad. If you pick a young man and you want to teach him everything in computer science, you have just confused his life. So what we did was that being a software company, and my software is used by as many stockbrokers all over the country or whatever, even outside Nigeria, people use my software. We now realize that we saw manpower problem in each of these organizations. So what we did was to start that SIDO Liberty, where we actually got these graduates who don't care what you read, and I was able to give them training in the business process of a typical industry in the Nigerian market, being the financial subsector called the Nigerian capital market. You agree with me that there are many stockbrokers. I may not know whether there is an active stockbroker in Zamfara today, but then in Kano, there are, I used to know of the Kundila, Gidaunia, Monument Securities, and all these were users of my software a couple of years back and all that. Then we have in Plateau States, Jos, you have the PIPC Securities, and of course, in other states like that, you are in Abuja, where of course you have the regional exchange of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And we saw manpower problems. So what we did was to get these graduates and we retrained them in the business process of that particular market within 2 months, intensive. And when we were done, we were able to do a letter telling them that this person, his name is this, he read this degree, he went to school at this university, he read this course, but we have subjected him to this training that should match the business process of what we are doing in the Nigerian capital market. My admin department did letters for everybody, well over 200 graduates, graduates who were jobless. And they were like, they were discharged into all our client network all over the country. And believe you me, these organizations never put on their door vacancy that they were looking for people. But as soon as they saw that this quality of people were coming to speak about the problems of the organization, each and every one of them were able to earn a job. Not because programmers sent them, but because they were able to go there and speak the problem of the organization and vis-a-vis the solution. and they earn jobs for themselves. So it was a clear research to see that if we can help these graduates on the road, on the streets, being helpless, it's not even by the money, but by the intellectual faculty for them to know where they are needed. If given the opportunity to understand what they're supposed to do, they can in themselves help their lives. And to be frank with you, by 2007, we celebrated over 200 of them, and at our then Programmer Software 10th anniversary, and this was witnessed by many people in the industry. We had the former senior special assistant, senior special commercial specialist at the United Nations, at the US Embassy here in Lagos, Untitled, who was actually there to even give them the certificate at the time on the graduation ceremony there at our 10th anniversary at the Museum Center in Lagos. So this really gave me the impetus to feel I can really go and do better. It was subsequent to that time, I later got the opportunity in 2010 to volunteer for Nigeria on the UN World Summit Award platform, that I became the national expert for Nigeria on the UN World Summit Awards. And between then and now, we've done so much, and Nigeria has recorded so much excellence. But the problem is always that these young people doing these nice things when promoted from their various corners are never recognized locally. They are never promoted. And I believe it's about time we begin to change that narrative. Changing the narrative will require that let our leaders get to begin to understand that our problems can be solved by these local people if they are shown what to do. So the Innovationbed Digital Citizens Innovation Capacity Development Program for the next 10 years was born out of our experience, our research of this past period. And so I'll just flip through this simple process so that we can begin to understand the bit of it for which we did a recent presentation to the OCAM Info Poverty World Conference recently, and it was all about what we have done, particularly in Nigeria, and Nigeria being a typical developing country, because what we are doing is something that can scale to any developing country because it's the same issue, it's the same problem. So I just titled this our talk today as High-Level Regional Implementation, Promoting Expanded Youth Innovation Capacity Incubation for the Adoption of ICT for Seeds SDGs E-Enabler Initiative for Rapid Digital Economy Transformation in Developing Countries, and targeting the EU Horizon priorities of 2019 to 2022. And as we speak, this project has now been extended to 2027. So our next year program is now to look at what we have done, and of course, leverage on all the excellence and the success of what we have done, and of course, conscript all the people that we have built up, their lives, their experiences, and we now form what we call an incubation 2030, which we love to domesticate in every state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in such a manner that it will help to expand the base of knowledge of digital citizens across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Even for me as a national expert, I should now be a happier person to realize that innovation from Nigeria is not only from selected states, like I'm based in Lagos or FCT, or some related states who are probably looking up and doing closer, they get my closer information. So we're actually now leveraging the partnership with state government so that we can drop an adoption, one, for the state government to adopt a local digital hub of the Innovationbed for their states, which will come with the World Summit Awards Nigeria local chapter, for which local youths there, a male, a female, or two male or female, or two female, will be able to help us so that we can actually help us do what we call tech scouting. We are able to comb and tech scout the entire state in terms of local government, in terms of workforce and institutions, in terms of federal tertiary institutions in the state, from time to time, sharing with them the whole of opportunities that we already have in our laboratory. We have so much innovation that has been done by several people all over the world, and we are ready to share all these ideas with all of them in the course of our incubation program in the state. So we now actually are calling for that partnership to seal so that at the beginning of the year, we're able to conscript all the youths from diverse, whether you're an undergraduate, whether you're a graduate and jobless, whether you're an undergraduate and you have potential for entrepreneurship, or whether you're a graduate and you are on your own as self-employed and all of that. Even artisans that have perspective and potential for innovation will benefit from this incubation going forward. And by our planning, since we talk about $1 million for 10 years, we hope to do like 2,500 to start with at each of the states. So this is actually the prayer that states, we can actually onboard more than 5,000, but then we are looking at 2,500 per state so that we can have as many states involved, and we can actually have, and we have already a tech environment for e-learning portal that we're going to onboard all of them, and all these things are residents with the lead consultant that is helping us out with in terms of the quality of education and content from Harrisburg University in the US, in the person of Professor Amjad Umar, who is always there to do everything possible to help what I'm doing in Nigeria. And this knowledge will be so inexpensive. And we actually would employ with politicians that we should just allow it to be the kind of simple mass project that it should be, because for us to reach out to 2,500 at a token is better than at a high rate, and we are reaching out to a very few people to have the opportunity. And it's our prayer, it's also our prayer that we should not pass this cost to these people, because like in my past research, I have covered the cost for every new help I've done to a youth in this country. And that is why I was able to get the result. If I did not do that, there may be the caliber of people who have benefited may not have had the opportunity. It would have been the son of the rich man or the well-influenced or positioned in government that will have the opportunity. But then we had a situation whereby every cadre, every level of the society benefited for free because we were able to shock absorb the cost from our own end. And as a software developer, that's about the only thing I use my funds to do in the past year. So we think to scale this so that we can meet up with our target of $1 million in the next 10 years, government has to help us. Corporates in the states also have to come to help. And we are saying very inexpensively, and people will be subjected to a whole lot of content relating with emerging technology that will cover artificial intelligence, that will cover machine learning, that will cover robotics technology, and will cover so much in all the contents that will help in digital transformation of the state, alongside with the SDG advisor of the UNICT for Seeds project, which has been there, and it has a whole lot of content that every developing country would need to grow their administrative opportunities. So I'll just scan through the project continuously. In that the project currently is so recognized now by OCAM that I didn't even know people are watching what I'm doing, that this project by the end of the year 2020, with all the details of all the states that we are going to put together and the report we are going to offer back to the UN, this project is a likable project that has already been pinpointed for the Horizon Europe for Africa initiative. So for us, we are happy that we can go this far and we can actually institute this in Nigeria. And I particularly give a lot of credits to our honorable minister in the person of Professor Issa Pantami. I may not really have a one-on-one relationship with him, but I've actually been relating with his PA, and we were able to get across to him when we needed his support to open our event for us at the OCAM 21st edition of the Info Poverty World Conference of the OCAM. And we were happy his office gave us that honor, and the minister was able to open the event for OCAM at the UN, and we were particularly very glad. And that was actually where this declaration on this mandate was actually noted for Nigeria and of course other African countries. So I'll just continue. Relatedly, we have some videos that might be helpful, because I'm going to share the PowerPoint of these documents at the end of the project, so that we'll not waste too much time on it. Like I said, we shouldn't. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to play that. Okay, now, okay, this document is definitely going to come over there. And you see, people are actually looking at the headline. We're looking at what the Europeans are doing. The EU headline targets for 2030. Like I told you, all this that we are doing is actually in relation to what this EU agenda is also having. That they are looking at that 78% of population aged between 20 and 64 should be in employment by 2030. This is entire continent. This is actually the Europe thinking for their people. And by the time they are seeing my design, to be frank with you, I'm particularly happy that we are using this to see how they can help in devising what can work for Africa. And of course, there's something now called Horizon Europe for Africa initiative, which we are happy that we are part of this. Okay. Now, European Pillar for Social Rights. So many things that governments are having as responsibility, and most of the time government feels it's too difficult to do. But we realize that all this constitutes the digital services that a young man next to you can just offer the help, because e-consultancies are rising now on the internet as new jobs to be floated and created across, and they'll be in the palms of these youths, and they'll be using it to eat for tomorrow, and not just that they'll be looking for jobs. All these social problems are now fresh opportunities that our young lads need to begin to engage going forward. Now, we've looked at our program between now and next year, and the states with the early adoption makes us know how the right footing for Nigeria will be like. And our task in simple terms will just be that people will be gotten from the state, say in Zamfara, undergraduates, graduates who are in workforce, graduates, unemployed, artisans, self-employed from all the local governments. And by now, ICT e-learning portal readiness, we are working with our colleagues and partners for the availability of this portal for as many as we can engage for all the states. And that is notedly being built right now. And we are happy that these machines are actually adopted and actually being hosted by ICT for Seeds, which is actually using the facility of the Harrisburg University in the US. And of course, we are happy to leverage on this infrastructure for now, because if I'm not doing that, all these projects will be pretty too expensive for us to be able to operate. But this has reduced the entire cost of everything. And of course, tuition will just be at the barest, as we are going to talk about this later on. Then endorsing state coordinators. We particularly would love the leadership of IT in the state to take champion of this process for us. And that is why we are particularly very happy with Zamfara State, that we've actually been in talk with the topmost level there in Zamfara State, in the person of our Honorable Tambura Yahya Mohammed, your Lord, sir. And I remain loyal, and we are very humble at your passionate approach to taking ICT. And congratulations once more for becoming the Director General of ZIDDA. And we hope this will actually enable the entire vision that you have for the state, and of course, with the support of His Excellency Executive Governor of Zamfara State. Now, we are actually looking at 2,500 participants to start with. And of course, enrollments and particulation, all those things after our meeting today will be available and done and referred to you in particular in Zamfara State, so that this can happen. Enrollments through the platform tuition and sourcing onboarding, sourcing of people from the local government. There will be a form for the state that this onboarding of people can come up there, but they must be validly evaluated, because the research is that we want to know those who are currently in school. The program should not be such that it will disturb what they are doing in school, but we are interested in even their course of study, because your course of study should not be a disadvantage for you. Every course of study is a content for today's social innovation. Every course of study is not bad as people see it in most cases. Some students are in school and they are regretting that they are doing philosophy. Some people are in school today, they are regretting they are doing zoology. So many things. And what essence is because they are only looking at their course of study because they are waiting for an exam. But we are going to make them look beyond an exam, to also look at how they can eat out of what they are reading in school. By the time you step out, you are a master of what you went to do in school, and you'll never be a job seeker. And you're actually a creator, an innovator of what you have done. And that is the missing link that we seem to see. So, and this is what this platform hopes to do to the career of our people. So the very first thing we have for next year, if we have about 2,500 people, we will be able to come back to the state and tell you, this person has a potential for this person has a potential for this person has a potential for this after the program. And that is why in the course of our program movement here, okay, we see complete program structure and content prioritized in line with the EU 2019 to 2022 that I've told you of, that I've mentioned earlier, has been upgraded. It's been upgraded this year into 2017. And so first state cohort of 2,500 for 15 weeks workshops. This 15 weeks workshop will be within 4 months. And after 4 months, it will take almost another 2 months to evaluate the 2,500, because we're evaluating them for character, we're evaluating them for potential, we're evaluating them for where in the world they can be there to help their states. So the evaluation itself takes a whole lot of experts that we already have in our incubation to render all this, and that is the people that we have conscripted onto the network. And of course, by the time we are talking about a fresh cohort in another year, we would have spent some good time in the educational aspects, some good time in the appraisal, and before we are planning for the next state, because the result of this, that the next batch of specialization program for successful potential innovators in state admissions will be, and of course, by the time we are done with the state innovation capacity inductees in the certification and special career reviews, we will be able to now know what information that we have for the states, that of people that the state may need to take a second look at, because amongst these people, you may have people who can actually rebuild the entire state because of the content they now know of what to do based on their background, either in singles or in groups, having known that what they have done now is related to correcting, because the immediate economy of Zamfara is enough economic buoyant, it's actually enough economic rebound for a sovereign and poor citizen of the state. And this is the picture across board. So in terms of the programming, between the beginning of the year and August, particularly around July, would have been done with evaluations, and we are noting people who will now be assigned to unique specialization goals and assignments. And all these things are such that their projects are all tied. They are even available to develop digital, virtual. In fact, when you say smart city, people just think and talk about it. They will be able to even begin to develop virtual things that they can simulate in real life, and even do some gamification of real life situations, even using the power of the internet. Because all these tools are available on the space for ICT of the ICT infrastructure, for which is the content of this project. Now, this entire concept is built in a manner that we've broken down, because we have to look at how politics works. If we have to look at how politics works, we have to, do technological politics into engaging what an average politician needs, how he thinks, and how he can work. And we are in tune with all of this. And this is, to be frank with you, the same problem we're having in Africa has been in Europe for a long time too. It's the same thing. So we're looking at, which is the same direction. The very set of things that we need to highlight are categorized in what we look at, what we call democracy and governance innovation incubation. We also look at things that can need to have change. What changes the socio-economical or whatever culture is the cultural, is that the culture and creative industry innovation. Look at our Nollywood. Just look at our Nollywood. You see, the very first wave of attack was the technology, imagine technology displacements, because technology has come to change what they were doing and almost making them look as if they don't even know what they are doing anymore. But quite frankly, that is one industry that is still remaining. And like we mentioned in here, The goal of the UN target right now says that innovation supporting Nollywood, particularly our own Nollywood, we need to address the artists, we need to address the cultural and creative professionals in the state, and of course, using certain things that can help them to make sure they're on top of their game back again. Because the world simply changed by technology. That's just it. So if we can bridge this, fix the gap research of our model is what has given light to all of this. And I'm very happy that Europeans are also thinking in that direction. Now, of course, we're also looking at other things that will be able to correct our social and economic transformation issues. So an incubation that addresses that is also along the content. We are not a school. Everybody has gone to school. We are only rebuilding the mindset to bridge the shock and gaps arisen into this society by virtue of the imposition, which is just natural, is global. Almost IT is changing lives across everywhere. My father was a photographer. I think I can do better photography than my own father right now. He's late, but then everybody and every one of us are better photographers. Look at, in those days, we had kabu drivers in Lagos. They go under a shelter, sit down, waiting for the next passenger to come and call them. But now, you stay in your house, call up an Uber driver or a Taxify driver or a Bolt, and they are there to pick you up. Do you know that those men who were doing kabu driver never realized they have a problem until nobody was going to under the tree shelter to patronize them because they were calling taxis that is already picking them from their homes. That was when those old men now realize they have a situational problem, they have environmental problem. And where is our government? Where are we there? Can you blame that to government? Every human being here has something to help his own community for. We are just doing this because we saw this coming. We did this to ordinary printers. Like if you come to Lagos, I could remember in one of my projects I saw recently that Facebook reminded me of. We used to have, when you come to Lagos, Shomolu, Ilupeju, Mushi are hubs for printing press. Technology came. Those guys were doing cut and paste, but technology came and almost displaced so many people who could not advance what they were doing to meet up with what printing press was to do again as of today. We had to engage all that crops of people in Shomolu, Ilupeju, Mushi, in my training center there in our training village, and we were able to give them some sound dubbing on how they can defrog old men and women. And they were very happy they had such an intervention from the community, and by who? An ordinary person like me. So I think this is just the way we are talking about that. We should show that love, show that care. It won't be about too much money. If we wait on national budget, we can never use our national budget to buy a digital society. We have to build a digital society. And quite frankly, with the kind of opportunities I'm talking about here, I'm talking about 2,500 people at what can be less than $100 per person. Platform inclusive, content inclusive, and we get the base of what we need to do. For me, I will never want it to be beyond that. If it's beyond that, then I'm not up to something, anything reasonable, because if it is too high, does not mean that is when it's going to work. But if we have all these resources, let's consume them at the rate that is possible for the mass that we need to correct our regions. Okay, good to say that the entire thing, what and why we are doing, this is actually the pivot upon which we are rested. Fix the gap research. We have to look at the gap, fix it, and that's exactly what Innovationbed is all about. Upskilling research. You do not just train anybody, you train them for what they need. You train them for what they need and what this environment need, and that is more prosperous. If my society need what I'm offering, then they will buy what I've produced. So the next is that, please, government, can you give us the demand for our supplies? So that we don't have to necessarily go outside this country to buy services that are immediately in front of us. That's the prayers. So we have World Summit Awards, which is the platform that we are using. And of course, the ICT for our seeds, which is also the UN platform that we are using. And of course, Grassroots digital policy is why His Honorable Mohamed Yahya will be very influential in digital policy engagement, because I happen to be the Director of Africa on the Global Digital Foundation based in Europe. But guess what? I would not want to speak English on the surface if I'm not addressing my problem from the grassroots. That's why I turned digital policy to, I call it now grassroots digital policy. Digital policy must be on the palm of everybody. So like we are talking about data privacy, data this, data that. People don't even know what data is yet. So for you to now begin to talk about policy on all those digital stuff, they may not even understand. So our dream of a digital society may still be too far-fetched. And it can really be with us as a culture, as we have seen in the last segmentation of the entire process build up. So in the nutshell, I don't like to talk too much of our problem because our problems will always be there. That in Nigeria, this is what we look like. Everybody, most of our places look like hamlets, huts. If you come to Ajegunle some years back, I'm sure Ajegunle is better than this now. Even in rural places, even in urban places, you see rural impacts. So we need to use technology, smart energy, smart health, smart all these things. And these things will not happen on their own until the people around those places are there to offer the services and earn from it, indirectly solving and turning these shabby ghettos into the preferred destinations, which is like in my background here. That is my picture here. That is the shabby, these are the shabby areas, and we want to go to international, want to look like this, want to look very decent like we find in the US. We all travel, we see what the environments are looking like. But you know what? It takes people there to think of innovating their bad environment to convert them to their preferred community, using people that we know, which are the stakeholders and the experts all over the globe. And that is actually our principle. And these experts today for me is not only my foreigners. I already have built capacity in the country and I want to consume them. I'm actually getting them on board as Innovation Council members to help us, let us do this go together. I can't go it alone. Okay, so I won't be spending too much time about talking about renovating Nigeria. Is just the contents of what we are talking about. All these contents are available. These have been part of the sessions at the UN. We've been talking about this many times over. We've been on this. I'm on the working group of the UNICT for seats, and we'll be sharing all these things, learning from what they need to do. And the problem will be that who will fund us, who will help us, but then it will get to a point where we take it up to the point that it should be very inexpensive, and we should get the work done for the country. Now, all these things were provoked by the coming of the pandemic. And to be frank with you, in the year 2020, we did far more than what we could do in past years, just in 1 year. And that was because the provocation of the COVID-19 to push everybody over to the internet made us to realize that we can actually achieve more over the internet. Like, for instance, some projects that I plan to do in the US, I delivered them very conveniently over the internet because I was already worried going to US to run a program. What if my people don't get given visas? I can't go there and just sit down on a place and I don't get my people that I need it for. And over the internet last year, we actually got 15 countries over that we ran the first Innovationbed festival of entrepreneurs across Africa. And this was because the internet could deliver all of this for us. And by our approach, we want to go into each of the local governments of the places, get them to be involved with this process, and then the government will be glad. We are not actually using this to overshadow what government is doing, but sincerely, you will actually be able to see that it should be a part of what can influence the administration and, of course, supportive of the political agenda of each of the state governments. And we always give it to Zamfara state government because we particularly love to share these stories, which I particularly had to share at the OCAM conference about the kind of support we're getting from Zamfara. And we talked about the need when government need these youths, when they are very good, even the leadership in their region will need them to do so much for them so that they don't just spend the Nigerian kobo for nothing. Because there's no point you spending a kobo when you don't even know what you want to spend it for. Our contents will show you what is best, how it's done all over the world. And we can share with you what the other worlds are doing. We'll share with you. You want to tie a road? You are not the only one to tie a road now. We can show you people who have tied road with the materials and everything and all the strategies that have been put in place before he begins to spend the Nigerian naira on the road construction. But here, we would have even spent the money before we even realized even the road was never even anywhere. So, but I think this is the kind of cultural settings that we need to be able to bring this technology and ideas of these people and engage people so that we don't get messed up over time. And of course, in the word of the African Development Bank president, he says that Africa must risk capital for its youth, You know, the little of it that I'm talking about, for which if you do the mathematics, you understand what I'm talking about. And this is the platform. We've created the platform in Nigeria. For me, I don't have a problem that when Nigerians or Nigerian youths are not good, we can compete with the rest of the world, and we have the stories. We have the rankings. Nigeria is still best all over Africa today, and we cannot afford to go down. That we are doing this does not mean that Africa, or we are not doing this does not mean that Africa as a continent is doing so well. Africa is doing very poorly because on the pie of innovation diameter, Africa is doing just 6%, when Europe is more than 45%. So we still have a lot of work to do. So how passionate I get is when I see my Nigerian, this is Dr. Charles, young guy just leaving school with what is innovation, winning the World Summit with and standing on the same stage as Dr. Professor Brock. The same way, a sitting governor then was also on the same stage with the same Professor Peter Brock receiving his award in Sri Lanka. So this gives me a whole lot of joy because we've not even started yet. There's so much we can still do. Now, and even currently, national experts from all these contacts all over the world. And here you have yours truly from Nigeria, and that is the expert for India. All the people here, here's the expert for Egypt. As many of us here, that's the expert for Chile, and several people, that is Palestine, and several other countries, and we're talking about over 180 countries. Everybody here is volunteering their lives and businesses that they've been doing this for their country. And they may not even be going as far as what I'm doing in Nigeria, because Africa is it's almost like a real war zone to achieve the kind of things that we plan to achieve. Okay, and this makes me really glad to share that in the last 10 years, you can imagine, from 2021, Nigeria has been winning. 2012, Nigeria has been winning. Can you see budget? Budget, that product that you still have today and we read today and we are happy for, was discovered in 2012 on the World Summit Award platform. Transparent Nigeria was discovered in 2023. Opoimo, that was the governor of Osun State when he was still governor, now minister, was discovered in 2023. Transparent Nigeria, was done, in fact, Transparent Nigeria, Uchechi Wiala was still a student in Harvard. He crossed from Harvard to join me in Sri Lanka for his award in 2013. So Omomi, Niger, and the rest in 2015 was solo. We didn't have any early winnings in 2015, but that was the only year and gap. Then later, You Truck It won it and was celebrated in Vienna. Then in 2016, of course, we have Filia Tank, Africa on the Rise, and we have Chowberry. We have Carrot.mg, we have Max Okada, we have Check It Up, who won on the Joseph Omdash Award, and we have Juni, and we have Natal Cares. So all these youths as at 2020, the result for 2021 is not out. And I'm happy to share that even as at the last short list of the youth category, Nigeria has 3 products this year on the short list. So until when the result is released, maybe perhaps next week or in 2 weeks' time, we should be happy at least Nigeria will be somewhere. And if you don't discover those youths doing a thing, we are not spending money, we are not sharing money for them. But guess what? We are taking them up to the point when money can be no problem because the rest of the world is seeing what they are doing and they can now access the monies that they can ever be looking for in their lives. This is exactly the kind of freedom that we want for our people. And you can imagine the constellation. But then I want to be happy that I'm able to produce this for Zamfara State. This is on a national outlook. I want to be able to drill down that I can be able to showcase Zamfara State to the world that, oh, I've been able to do this, and this is my joy. Because as you can see, no matter how good that we think we are doing, look at that. Africa as a continent is doing so poorly at 6%. Europe is doing 45%, Asia 14%. Others, North America, 11%, Arab countries and Middle East, 11%, Latin America and the Caribbean, 12%. So we think with your patronage, we will go a long way, far, long way, not just for promotional sake or showcase sake, but this will interpret to actual development on the field, on the ground in Zamfara State. And in reality, we have the tech giants, because we are not talking in the air, it's no theory. These are human beings. I can map them to sectors, happening sectors in the country. When I say open government and citizen engagement, these are life innovators. Look at budgets. Look at him. Look at all this. Look at that. Under education. Look at health. And these are the things that runs the fabric of every state in the country. And I'm talking about globally rated capacities from this country. And we have not even seen anything. Same way, is it externally? You see them, like, look at this young man who actually jointly working with Chris Ramieni, Samuda Tong, for instance, was recently featured on the Forbes. It's just 30 years. It's just 30 years. And he's the producer of the product called, what's it called? That is called something flies, you know? So, and it goes a long way to share that these guys are, if given the opportunity, they can do far better. Now, on this UN initiative, the last cohort that we actually had to get scholarship for, we got people from Akwa Ibom, Gombe, Katsina, Benue, Kano, Ogun State. Okay, Akwa Ibom again, I think I have Bauchi State here. We have Taraba, we have Edo State, we have the FCT, and intern, who is my son in here, based that is in Cyprus, coordinating this, because he also has contents that can go down to help those people from his own university experience. And so many other interns that have passed through Programmers Foundation in several universities all around the world. The good that we have done to so many of them, they are willing to pay us back to the projects that we are building in the country. And that is why it's got to be as inexpensive as possible. And is it the women project? Every first lady must be shown what to do, because we are also building women in technology so that they can be successful being in technology. Okay, so and that's why some of this documentation will actually be shared later on. And we are trying to see how in Nigeria, I will particularly be wanting to rate a governor, a performing governor, by how many innovators have we been able to produce in your states. You know, because when I showcase all these projects going into the global stage, I should be able to now say that this product is from Zamfara, this product is from Nasarawa, this product is from Kano, this one is from Boeing, and this is from Akwa Ibom, and so on and so forth. We should be all proud of the incubation program 2030 of Programmers Foundation. So, and the issue is that we are not into politics, so it's not easy to access people in government, that we leverage on, you see, the likes and minds of people like Zamfara. Like, in fact, my new friend also in Nasarawa and Farah, the people I know. Take, for instance, do you know my state is Akwa Ibom State? The governor is a personal friend. We went to school together. But then it may not be easy for you to access politicians. It's so difficult to talk to politicians. And I don't mince words when I say this, because it's actually when they are out, we will now be talking. But what we're supposed to do when they are there and they have the opportunity, we will not. But you see, I'm so happy when people I don't even know are involved with this project, and I'll be able to make my marks for the country. And people not doing it now, of course, will join us as we proceed. And that's why we are not ready to do a do or die affair. And of course, each governor will be able to see people doing banking solution from his state, insurance solutions from his state, logistics and smart deliveries, and so on and so forth. These are eyes of Nigerian youths. They seek to become each and every one of these bits. if empowered, to be able to do so. And you hear the UN, they are busy speaking the English of connectivity integrated community, but it can never be by English language. It has to be by practical, bringing these things to fore and getting people to do what we need to do from their immediate rural and urban communities, impacting what they already have. And these samples that we're talking about here are factories and specifications that not just we using it to do it, all our students will be able to create smart portals for one service or the other for their states. Is it in agriculture? Is it in transportation, and many more? And this is why I've actually been relating with almost everybody in the community here. Is it media, in leadership, the presidency? Everybody has to help so that we can actually push and embrace all of this and ensure that Nigeria takes advantage of this thing. And we are already a country to scale to other developing countries if we can see it and do it right. And that is why the EU is particularly, they are very interested in this project. And that is why by 2010, when I got up this project to do a design, you have the space portal coming to Nigeria for me to manage. And this is already spent 10 years doing this. And we are just trying to see how we can go live on what we are so sure of doing. And we're happy that this is coming to this stage. Of a few other people too and governments that are also showing interest. And I think that is actually the end of my presentation. This is the end of my presentation. I would love to share this presentation at the end of our session. And I'm particularly very happy once again to say we were able to meet face-to-face to talk about this. So I think you can share your ideas. Like our prayers is one, World Summit Awards Nigeria, Zamfara, must be manned by some volunteer youths in the States, and I'll be able to engage them on the process that we can use to work from time to time in seeing how we can actually articulate the process of World Summit in Zamfara State on a full scale. Then we also have the ICT for Seeds project, all this culminating into the incubation project. And we want to be able to have our honorable, please give us that leadership in the state once again, even in the course of when this project starts and when we are going, and even for tomorrow, even when we are not in office, we will deserve and demand your attention, sir. And even when we are sharing some of these reports at the UN, I will also recall, I'll be able to seek your indulgence to be party to the report and the experience that we're going to go through in the course of time. So thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh.
Good afternoon.
Hello, any of your inputs? Asma, how you just came in?
No, I was here like 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
Sorry, I was late. I was attending to something here in the.
Right. So we'll just hear your wrap-up message so that we know.
Yes, I'm sorry, many of my people couldn't attend because we did not share it on time. But I believe next year.
Of course, this is actually a strategic meeting. We may not really need all of them, but you see, our state reps are very important. The state rep responsibility is different from the project itself, and we are very glad that I have his honorable in the house. In fact, he's the most relevant of all of us, and I'm very happy to have you in the house. And Peter Luka, so thank you so very much for your time. I don't know whether I have the other invited consultant, Mr. Benga Fakoya, not yet, but then of course the video I will be able to share. It will be in the Innovationbed channel.
So I think Ms. Amos, this is a wonderful gathering, high technical meeting, particularly for Innovationbed Zamfara, inshallah.
Amen.
We are much appreciative. We can't thank you less. And that's why we are showing a lot of commitment and dedication throughout this session. Innovation-Bed Africa, I found it as key role of value or added value, because nowadays, without innovation, our youth has no future. That's always because you can see a graduate of first class, graduate of second class, upper, lower, but to get a job is a very annoying thing. So you see, we need to rise up and face the challenge. And we cannot face these challenges without being innovative. So we need to buckle up our graduates. We need to show them the way. We need to lead the way. This is the only opportunity we can be in government and showcase our talent and our capacity in youth building. And youth building is all about this innovation, giving them the necessary requirements, learning, mentoring them, and putting them on track so that they can realize their potentials and they can be what they want or what they are ought to be. So you see, in here in Zamfara, we're trying much to see how best we can contribute to this innovation. One, the last program we held with you people, it has been very exciting. Many of our youth, even if they are not aware, they are now aware that we want to do something as far as Innovationbed Africa and World Summit Award is concerned.
Right.
So they are trying to see how best they can be with this platform under our care. And we are going to make a lot of commitment in this aspect. We have not been in contact for quite a long time because of some engagement and the upgrading that happens to me from SSA to DG. I thank you most sincerely for supporting me all this while. See how best Zamfara can come on board and showcase its own talent and its own potentials to the world, not only in Africa. So I'm assuring you that working with people like Asma Melafia and the likes here in Zamfara has been very easy for me to see how we package and get some of the innovations that is needed for us to put through so that our youth can realize what they need to become in the near future. We cannot, at the moment, with the little opportunity in government, to see how we misuse this opportunity. We are going to make sure that, inshallah, our youth are on track and in collaboration with Innovationbed Africa and ICT Force, we are under this platform to make sure that it's beneficial to Zamfara people, it's beneficial to our youth, and they can be of what is expected to be. So with this, I think you have shared a lot of experiences, a lot of happenings, a lot of potentials in you, and I have jotted a lot from your remarks. And we're going to sit with my colleagues and some of my team here in Zamfara to see how best we come up with our local strategy so that we can report back to Innovationbed Africa and see how best we can scale up this innovation with in timely, and as we are crossing 2022, a new year for prosperity, and I say a new year for digital Zamfara.
By the grace of God. That's right.
People of Zamfara can understand that I just last week budgeted my budget in the agency, and I told them that we are going to focus on 3 areas that I think was paramount for us to scale up the Digital Zamfara initiative. That areas are the priority area number 1 is ICT and human capital development.
That's right.
We cannot just say we need ICT infrastructure, we need e-government potentials without this human capital development. We need to build our youth. We need to make them useful. We need to leverage them on this technological advancement. we need to bring out those potentials in them so that at least they can be useful in other areas. Secondly, we say we are going to look at the ICT infrastructure in the state. We see how best survive and how best we can get a lot of hubs, including these innovation startups and for the hubs. We need to have a lot of hubs where we can showcase, we can practicalize what we have been learning, the e-learning portal that you have mentioned.
That's right.
So, and thirdly, we need to leverage our government processes on different and digital platforms so that they can ease their government processes and administrative systems. So these are the areas that I will focus in the coming year, and inshallah with the support of the State Assembly House and in particular the executive governor. I think we are a good one to go, and we'll do a lot with you people and other partners in Zamfara State. So I wish and I pray that this cordial relationship that has been established last year, and it will be more beneficial in the coming years as we have kickstart the Innovationbed Africa and start of state innovation, that we can see how best we can work together and achieve the desired goals. Amos, from your remark, you made mention of 3, or let me say 5 roadmap that we need to focus on: the fix a gap research, the upskilling research, and that links the platform we are using, both the UN ICT for SEED and the World Summit Award, and the digital grassroots potentials that we need to focus on. I think it's all noted by me, and we're going to see how best will help you to implement this. Inshallah, as you hope that in the coming year, you need to see Zamfara on the platform of this World Summit Award. Make all commitment and dedication to see you achieve that goal, which will be much beneficial to Zamfara and to the government in particular. So we will not leave any stone unturned, and we are going to work with all the relevant partners and relevant team holders and the stakeholders here in Zamfara to see how best we showcase and how best we improve our capacity in terms of innovation. Our youth will not be left behind as this administration is concerned. His Excellency is very passionate in ICT, and is very passionate in is very passionate in ICT building, youth building, and other digital innovations that we can come on board with him, and he will make sure that he will support us all in our aspirations to see we have a digital Zamfara, and we have a digital initiative we are yearning for.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I will not waste time.
Yeah.
Our representative, the key stakeholders that we added up on the platforms, the product life and others. Some of my guys are here. Abdullah Abubakar and others, they are here. Is here. They are all my technical guys here in Zamfara. They are passionate in ICT and they are very innovative. We can, inshallah, work with them as time goes on.
Very well.
Other guys, others youth across the 40 local government of Zamfara.
That's right.
To see how best we contribute.
That's right. Thank you.
Once again.
Thank you so very much.
Let's, as I always say, I can see one of my colleague or he's out. He's from Zamfara because he's from Sokoto rather. Because I share the link.
So Honorable, you help me. You actually will help me with other states. You actually help me with other states.
I'll work.
Like I told you,
definitely. It's
not been easy for me to reach out to people. You know, most of the time when you're engaging people with this kind of thing, to be what is the need for me? I say, in fact, it's not been easy. I know what I'm talking about. If I have I have one of the media guys in here, Mr. Peter. If you are in the house, please, a bit of your word. This is actually journalists that have been on my case in the last more than 10 years. I don't have a dime to give them, but they are so passionate about the roadmap of what I've been talking about in the industry. So, and I give it to them. There is no forum I am. Journalists want to be there because they want to hear, they want to know what next. And not that I have one money to pay a journalist per se, and they know that my budget is just from the little I do that I'm using to do this. But I told them a time will come, it will pay itself. Yeah. That is the patience. But guess what?
Definitely.
It will not happen at all costs. And that's why I'm particularly very happy that someone like Peter Oluka, if it's active, Mr. Peter, are you active? You can unmute.
Maybe he's not close.
Likely, yeah, likely. Okay, so but then that is just it. Himself, Don Pedro, the day I wanted to say I want to meet one person, like when I wanted the minister, one of them was ready that the minister may not even know you, that you are, what you're even doing, so the minister may not even, it was Don Pedro that offered me the PA's number. I got across to the PA. That's why I get to know that he has more than one PA. Well,
Yes, he has many PAs.
yeah, one PA had to hand over my case to another PA that it was too clumsy. It was too complicated.
That is how government.
So eventually, I got talking to Dr. Femi. Dr. Femi was the one that now related my story, and I now handed over the Dr. Femi and the minister's case to the OCAM UN people. That's how they went to resolve. So each time OCAM says that Nigeria is slowing down, I'll go back to Dr. Femi. So please, UN is saying the guys are not responding. So that forth and back. But you know, please, I said, there with us in Nigeria. You know, I'm from Nigeria. So, but at least, anyway, they were all happy. They were particularly very happy that there's this kind of process. But because to tell one bitter truth, an organization that started all this in the UN as far back as 2009, today is not even active again. Because when people joined the working group in 2009, 2010, they probably thought when you hear UN, it's about somebody giving you money. Each time I go to defend this project at the UN headquarters, I pay and buy in fact, at lunchtime, you go and you step out and buy your sweets, you step out to buy your biscuits and water. So when people say UN is about money, I mean, I've not been such a lucky person. I paid through, in fact, to arrive New York. Yeah, to arrive New York, we'll be looking at the budget hotel that you can stay for $60, $70. At that time, God knows what it is now. And by the time I do my 1 day, 2 day, I'm run back to my country because I don't even know how to stay in this country because of their foreign exchange. That is even a software company in Nigeria. So, but then for some people who are very comfortable, they'll be thinking life is all about money. If I see it, I see it. If I don't see it, I don't see it. Perhaps if you even have the money too much, you'll be enjoying yourself in the Bahamas now. That's why innovators and young people, innovators need to understand. Yeah. That's why when they step out and they get that funding, so $1 million, so million euro, they will fail because the money will make them block their eyes. That's why 99% of startups who are funded have failed.
Exactly.
And that is why you don't even wait that you are getting the wrong money. If the money is not local, then your impact and outcome will never impact local. Because you'll be working at the mercy of where the money is coming from. And that is why I particularly would like Nigerian governments to please help their young people so that they can benefit of what they are doing in the local community. Otherwise, what they are getting will be exported. That's why so many of the outcome of the result that we are getting, so many of those things, because they are getting foreign funds, their impact is going outside the country, which is not so good. So thank you so very much. Madam Mailafia, your word. I would like to hear from Madam Mailafia.
Okay, before you hear from her, I think I would like to take excuse.
Oh, yes. Thank you so very much, Honorable. I know you're always there for me, and I'm particularly very happy.
Thank you.
Just leave every other person. Just leave every other person to me. I'll handle everybody. That's my work.
Thank you.
That's my work.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Take care.
Thank you. Yes. So, yes.
It's wonderful having Mr.
So we will be glad. We'll be glad. I'll share this video back for you in the group, so that So, and I'm happy and very happy that the session came to success. And how do you see the analysis? We are planning for 2,500 people from across all the 14 local government area, and from February till August, we should be done with them. That's for next year, starting with that. Then subsequent years, we'll be able to look at that. Then by the time we are done with them, we'll now be able to identify which one needs areas of specialization. People that can now go for projects that they can now support them based on projects for the states, not elsewhere. They are now to be doing special projects for the states. You know, so that's the goal, and that's the way we're going to measure the entire thing. It should be product-oriented and service-oriented in the end. So thank you so very much, everyone. I'm so particularly happy that we're able to make this true. The other states are waiting for their timing. I know I shared with you that the Bauchi State Governor is having his daughter's wedding, so I was thinking it might affect other participants and states and all that. So we're good. Yes, man. Thank you so very much for the meeting, everyone. Mr. Peter, are you in? Okay, I think Mr. Peter is not very active, but at any rate, the video will help out. So in the absence of any other thing, or do you have any other thing to say, Madam Mailafia?
No, I want to thank everyone as well. At least the meeting was a success.
Yes.
And I believe that 2,500, and with the support of the government, we are going to, we have a long way to go.
That's right.
So that is why government support, one way or the other, we need them.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you so very much. All the very best. All the very best. All the very best. My special regards. Yes.